It's a real pleasure to speak to you this afternoon and to be here. I'm full of gratitude for the chance to come to India and to come to Manipal. I'm also full of gratitude for the experiences that I've had, and I'd just like to acknowledge my GEMS colleagues. It's been a pleasure spending time with you here, but especially to Soumya, to Vishnu, to Kushak for the hospitality you've shown us has been amazing, and I'm incredibly grateful for that. To the instructors, to the mentors, to the children, thank you for letting us in and seeing what you've been doing here, which has been truly impressive. However, the thing that happens when you get to my age is sometimes you get a little bit grumpy and a little bit frustrated at things you don't understand. When in the 60s and 50s, it was probably people my age shaking their fist at the TV because Elvis was shaking his hips too much. And then as time went on, it was probably the lyrics of in music and the content of films. And then as time went on, it was probably the invention of the internet. For me, I don't understand AI. And I'm worried about it. But I don't know why I'm worried, I'm just worried. And what was really interesting is I got to sit in a classroom for a little while and to hear people who did understand it and to understand what they were doing with it. But then today something happened. I walked into the room where the children were demonstrating what they've been doing for the last few weeks. And one of our esteemed, gifted young people said, "Well, sir, I've created a chess game where you get to play against AI," and I thought, here's my chance. I'm going to show AI who's... So the game started, and very quickly it went downhill for me. And I thought, okay, I've got to somehow save some face here. I've got to save some dignity from this experience of playing chess against AI. But little did I know that not only was this AI chess program designed to clearly beat the likes of me, but also it would do so by taking every single piece before it took the king, to really rub my face in it. So, like a true grown-up and professional, I was beaten soundly and I stormed out of the room. But the one thing about playing AI or getting beaten by AI is at least you don't have to shake hands at the end. But I digress, because as part of my job as corporate head of Gifted and Talented, I spend an awful lot of time thinking about what it means to be gifted and what makes you gifted. In fact, I suspect I'm standing in front of an awful lot of gifted people, instructors, mentors, parents. And it's really interesting because a lot of research goes into this. Now, some people think that you're magic babies. You arrive in this world with all these gifts and talents and they're just going to come out at some point. But the research is interesting. And there's a man called Daniel Coyle, and he's written a book, and I really suggest people read it if they get a chance. He's not an educationalist, but he looks at talent and gifts. And what he says is it's far more about your environment and your experiences than what you come to this world with. So when you're sitting here today and you consider, okay, I've been accepted into this wonderful gifted program, I've got this opportunity, take a moment to thank your parents and your families and the environments that you've grown up in and your schools. Because actually, this is something that, and you've done the hard work, don't get me wrong, but this is something that's arisen from everybody around you making the right choices and giving you that intellectual nourishment that means you're able to sit here today. And what you were doing and what I saw from what you were doing was so impressive. So I spent a lot of my time thinking about this. And there was a study that was done, a meta study, so they looked at a bunch of different studies, to try to find out, this was in the US, to try to find out what gifted people had in common. There must be something, right? There must be something they have in common that makes them gifted. And they looked at sort of personality traits, specifically. And they did find one, and I wonder if you can guess what it is. So there's one personality trait that has been discovered that gifted people have in common? Any ideas of what it might be? Yeah, someone said it. Curiosity. They class it as openness, but it's curiosity. It's people who are open to new experiences. It's people who, when they're presented with something new, embrace it with open arms, and they want to know more. And that's the one thread that sort of binds you clever people. And that's really interesting, because the last few days for me have been full of new experiences, which I'm incredibly grateful for. But I could also see and hear, when I was in the classrooms and when I was talking to you, when I was talking to your instructors, so much evidence that what this experience was actually about was being exposed to new experiences, high quality new experiences. And that's what you're going to take away with you when you leave here. And trust me, again, remember, I'm a grumpy old man, but I remember my school days, and they weren't even in black and white. I remember my school days, and the things that stick with me are experiences like you've had. I wasn't lucky enough to go on a gifted program like this, but I did have various experiences where I went away and tried something new and met new people and worked on new things, and they are the things that I remember, and they are the things that stick with me. And not only that, they are the things that I turn to when I get stuck. So when I'm presented with something new and I don't know what to do, I think back to those experiences and think, what did I learn from that I can employ in this situation? And that is a really valuable thing. I think you've had an incredibly valuable experience. I think that you've probably learnt and grown more than you even realise. And it's been a pleasure being here and witnessing it. So thank you so much.